Python-nonlocal statement keyword. What does nonlocal do in Python 3.x? To close debugging questions where op needs nonlocal and doesn't realize it, please use is it possible to modify variable in Python that is in outer, but not global, scope? Instead, although Python 2 is officially unsupported as of January 1, 2020, if for some reason you are forced to maintain a Python 2.x codebase and need an equivalent to nonlocal, see nonlocal keyword in Python 2.x.
Compare this without using nonlocal. To this, using nonlocal, where inner SX is now also outer SX. If we were to use global, it would bind X to the properly global value.
In short, it lets you assign values to a variable in an outer, but non-global, scope. See PEP 3104 for all the gory details.
A Google search for python-nonlocal turned up the proposal PEP 3104, which fully describes the syntax and reasoning behind the statement. In short, it works in exactly the same way as the global statement, except that it is used to refer to variables that are neither global nor local to the function. Here's a brief example of what you can do with this. The counter generator can be rewritten to use this so that it looks more like the idioms of languages with closures. Obviously, you could write this as a generator like. But while this is perfectly idiomatic Python, it seems that the first version would be a bit more obvious for beginners. Properly using generators, by calling the return function, is a common point of confusion. The first version explicitly returns a function.
It takes the one closest to the point of reference in the source code. This is called lexical scoping and is standard for greater than 40 years now. Python's class members are really in a dictionary called __dict___ and will never be reached by lexical scoping. If you don't specify nonlocal but do x equals 7, it will create a new local variable x. If you do specify nonlocal, it will find the closest x and assign to that. If you specify nonlocal and there is no x, it will give you an error message. The keyword global has always seemed strange to me since it will happily ignore all the other x, except for the outermost one.
Help nonlocal, the nonlocal statement. The nonlocal statement causes the listed identifiers to refer to previously bound variables in the nearest enclosing scope. This is important because the default behavior for binding is to search the local namespace first. The statement allows encapsulated code to rebind variables outside of the local scope besides the global module scope.names listed in a nonlocal statement, unlike to those listed in a global statement, must refer to pre-existing bindings in an enclosing scope. The scope in which a new binding should be created cannot be determined unambiguously. Names listed in a nonlocal statement must not collide with pre-existing bindings in the local scope. See also a PEP 3104, access to names in outer scopes. The specification for the nonlocal statement. Related help topics, global namespaces. Source, Python language reference.
If you want to support the channel, please consider liking and subscribing.